So we'll wrap things up today talking about one of the top recruits in the country for next year's recruiting class, and that's Zion Elee. He's currently committed to Maryland, but it looks like that recruitment's far from over, and that's what you're going to get with a guy who's as elite as Zion Elee. He's going to be visiting Auburn soon. 247 Sports has him as the number 2 player in the country, but they called him a few months back here in one of their scouting reports. They called him one of the more complete edge prospects in recent memory.
Yeah, this is a guy I saw in the Under Armour All-America game, which now they're allowing juniors to play. So he's going against, in some cases, senior offensive linemen, in some cases, the top juniors. He looked outstanding. When he went against Micah Morris, who's another player in that 26 class, a top tackle, I mean, he made him look absolutely silly. This is a guy who, depending where you look, 247's got a number 2. I think composite-wise, he's number 13. He's a consensus 5-star player from an area in Baltimore, Maryland, that's been producing top edge rushers. Just that whole DMV area, right? If you take it all as a whole, Dylan Stewart, as good as it gets as a true freshman. Chop Robinson, you see what he's doing there for the Miami Dolphins. So this is an area that's producing a lot of edge rush talent. Zion Elee, what jumps out to me, he's listed at 6'4", 220. I think that's a verified measurement. He didn't look overpowering when you saw him in the field with the other All-Americans, but it was the motor, it was the bend, it was the fluidity that stood out. But you look at Auburn. Auburn's a team that has been recruiting at an extremely high level relative to their on-field performance the last couple classes. Landed a guy in Jared Smith who's an outstanding edge rush prospect, bigger player than Zion Elee, maybe not as polished. But look, in terms of what they've been doing in Baltimore, right? So just some background. So Zion Elee goes to St. Francis, one of the biggest schools in the country, one of the best programs in the country out of Baltimore. Blake Woodby, Bryce Dees, Darian Smith, defensive players, all signed with Auburn in the 2025 class from this area, from the school. So then you also have Wayne Henry, who's in the 26 class, committed to Auburn. And you have Jira Edwards, who is the number 3 safety in this 26 class, also visiting. So Auburn's trying to build a pipeline here, and the prize of that class is Zion Elee. Look, maybe he wants to stay home in Maryland. It's that he's got his mind set on it, but take a shot. You never know when all your teammates kind of get together and say, "Hey, this is how we're gonna take over college football." It's interesting going from Baltimore, Maryland to Auburn, Alabama, but it's all about momentum. Once that becomes the pipeline, it's easier to get the next one because the path has been proven.
Man, I feel bad for some of these high school tackles. He freezes some of these guys up completely. It's crazy to watch, and it's good competition as well.
Oh, these guys play everybody. But again, it's amazing. Just again, I'm going through. I couldn't believe it when I actually looked at it. But yeah, 3 guys last year, 1 guy committed this year, and then on top of those 4 going to Auburn, you have Zion Elee and Jira Edwards, 2 blue chip, top of the board type players on that visit. So this is a significant number of players leaving the area, going past Penn State, right, past Ohio State, past Maryland, past Virginia Tech, past some of the schools that traditionally recruit that area, all the way to the Plains down there at Auburn, Alabama. We'll see how this develops. Auburn did a tremendous job of keeping Alabama players home in the last class, really squeezing out, the University of Alabama when it came to in-state talent. Auburn just took Alabama to the woodshed in that department. But now you're also seeing Auburn branch out and go elsewhere. Can they flip Zion Elee? He was very vocal about he wanted to stay home at Maryland. Malik Washington, very, very talented dual threat quarterback, basketball player. He also played in the Under Armour All-American game, committed to Maryland for the 25 class. They're trying to build something, kind of a hometown thing over there. Can Zion Elee be pried from that situation to play with his teammates on the Plains? This is a recruiting battle to keep a very, very close eye on.